Hi, my name is Eileen Hopper, and I'm going to be providing you with a couple of food demonstrations that are popular in Japan. They both are going to be appetizers for this particular segment. There are two of them that we're going to be doing today. The first is a longtime favorite of Japan. They're called Japanese Potato Croquettes, otherwise known as croquettes. The second is going to be a new twist on an old favorite, and that's called an egg roll in a cup. We're first going to start with our croquettes. Most of you have probably had them before as children, or maybe you even still make them at home, but for those who haven't, these are a wonderful staple as a main dish, a side dish, or even something for kids to nibble on when they get home from school or you get home from work. The main ingredients are potatoes. You can use anywhere from half a pound to a pound, depending upon how many you're cooking for. While those are boiling up, you're going to be starting browning some ground. I'm using turkey, by the way. While they're boiling, in a frying pan, you're going to add a teaspoon of olive oil. It doesn't have to be extra virgin, just what I happen to have in the shelf. We're going to be browning our turkey. When the turkey is halfway browned through, there's no longer any pink, we're going to add a half a cup of onions. They can be white onions. You can also use purple onions if you're looking for some extra color. Along with that is going to be a half a cup of carrots. While those are browning and getting finished, one other thing I add, and only because it's turkey. Turkey and chicken sometimes can be a little bland, but it's really good about soaking up a lot of flavor. So I may add anywhere from a teaspoon to a tablespoon of soy sauce, depending upon your preference, and then a little bit of sesame oil, just to add a little, I guess, umph to it, if you would. Usually with beef and pork, you don't, because they have a lot of flavor themselves. If you do want to add this, you can. It just won't be as much as you would if you were using chicken or turkey. Once our potatoes are done, we're going to drain them. We're going to put them back in the pot while the pot's still hot, just so we can get rid of some of that moisture. With karaoke, its worst friend is moisture or excess water. So we'll roll it around in the hot pan just to steam off some of that extra moisture. We're going to put it in a bowl, and we're going to mash our potatoes, but it's not the standard type of mashing that you and I, or me, might be used to, meaning I'm not going to be adding any cream, I'm not going to be adding any milk, I'm not going to be adding any butter. I'm just going to be mashing my potatoes until they come to kind of a crumble, if you would, because we want to be able to kind of, when we spoon them, we're going to make them into a little ball and then mash them into a small oval shape. And this is what it's going to look like when we've added our protein, our two veggies, our sauces, and our potatoes. And we're ready to make our croquettes. Plain flour, 2 eggs that are beaten, preferably at room temperature. When they're chilled, sometimes they have a tendency to want to separate. And of course, your panko crumbs to get that nice, good crunch when they're finished. I usually add about a tablespoon worth when I want to get, and this is the standard size, or like an appetizer size, or if you wanted to make them as a side dish with some chicken or some pork chops or some vegetables or salad, this would be the size you'd want to use, and that's what we're making today. I'm going to take a nice heaping tablespoon. I'm going to smash it up into a bowl because we want everything to kind of glue together, if you will, and then we'll make our little oval shape. Now comes the dipping. Oh, and by the way, I should have mentioned this before. We are going to be frying this in vegetable oil at 350 degrees. I like using a good old fryer because you don't have to worry about turning them, because they're going to be totally submerged and they'll be cooking on both sides at the same time. So they'll come out even. We're going to dip them in our flour. You don't want too much on there, so pat any excess off. Your egg yolk or your glue. And then that wonderful crunchy panko. And that's what it's going to look like when it's finished. I'll usually put them aside under some wax paper so they don't stick. Sometimes they suggest to refrigerate them maybe for 20 minutes just so everything really sticks on there and does not fall apart while we're frying them. Okay, we are going to let our oil get up to 350, and I'll be right back with you. Welcome back, everyone. I've already put the 4 croquettes that I had prepared with my station here in my fryer. They're only going to take anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes to turn nice and golden brown. You have to remember that everything in our mixture here is already cooked. So you're not really having to cook the inside. All you're really doing is warming the inside up. And then, of course, turning them that nice, beautiful golden brown color, nice and crispy. You can, because of the size that I made were not that big, you can actually put 4 of them in here together. And remember, your oil is at 350 degrees. Even though they are totally submerged, I just like to toss them around a little bit, make sure they get nice and even. Once they're done, I'm going to go ahead and just put them on here just to drain a little bit, just get some of the excess oil off. And look how pretty they are coming out. Nice golden brown on each side. Remember, everything is already cooked on the inside, so we don't need to worry about anything being raw. And there we go. They can drain for just a couple of minutes. These can be kept in the refrigerator for up to 5 days, well packaged. You can also, when you make your croquettes and you've got them all battered and everything, you can actually wrap them in like a saran wrap, and they'll stay frozen up to a month. And that way, all you have to do is just take them out of the saran wrap and dip them in your oil. So in case you want to make a big batch of them, they'll be ready. And all you got to do is just pull them out. There's a couple of popular sauces for karaoke. The first one, of course, is katsu sauce. I have some homemade katsu sauce. Just sprinkle a little bit across the top. There's also a spicy mayonnaise that is very popular with these. You can even make them part of your batter by whipping some of the mayo in with your egg. The Japanese mayo has a nice little bite to it, so if that's what you're looking for as far as heat, that's where you would get that, would be from your mayo along with your katsu. These are good with sweet and sour, any type of sauce that you would like. I have it made with just a little cabbage salad on the side. So there you go. This is made with your turkey, your Japanese style croquette, otherwise known as croquette.